Let's take a comfortable seat. I will mute you all now. And hopefully as I move away from the computer, you'll still be able to hear well. We'll see, I hope. But I will also project. So we'll hopefully be able to get through this practice with a little bit of clarity. So as you take a comfortable seat, take the time to sit up in a way that feels good. And one of the things that I recognized over the last few weeks was I have shifted from the energy that's out there, from what's going on in my body. I've shifted how I'm choosing to sit for meditation and even to start my own personal practices. So I was sitting on my knees like so, and that stopped feeling quite as good. And so I came back to sitting cross-legged. And so even little things like that are things that you get to tune into your body and notice, well, does this position make your body and your mind fidget? Well, fidgeting is a part of that air and ether. Okay, that's a part of that energy. So tuning into that even, and finding a position that helps you be able to maybe settle a little bit more. So as you find that position for yourself, take one hand to your heart, peace fingers on the other hand, and place those on the ground. And if you're sitting up on a chair, then place it on the seat of your chair, okay? So as you take a couple deep breaths, feel free to either close your eyes or simply take your gaze down and take a couple deep breaths. Then connect palms together at heart center, joining right hand with left. Lift your shoulders up and back and lengthen up through the back of your neck. On your exhale, take a bow toward your heart. And as you softly open your eyes and release your hands down, just for a moment in your seat, take a couple rounds of cat and cow here. Inhaling, drawing your belly forward. Exhaling, drawing your belly back. And allowing for that tilt of your pelvis forward and back. And if you have a lot of tension going on through your low back, then make this movement a little bit smaller. Full deep inhale, long full exhale. Then inhale, sit tall, and now we're going to switch the cross of our legs pretty quickly and into the uncomfortable side. If you're sitting cross-legged, shift your sitting bones, and this time we're going to take some circular motions through the spine. So hands at your knees, take an exhale and press your spine back into your cat-like pose. Inhale, circle the ribs around to the left side, all the way around the front, and exhale back on the right. Inhale, circle around to the left, exhale on the right. One more time, inhale and exhale. Then inhaling, switch directions onto the right side, exhaling back on the left. Inhale, circle around, and exhale, draw back. One more full breath, full inhale, long, deep exhale. And then inhale, sit tall, shift forward onto hands and knees. And from hands and knees, settle hips all the way back to heels, take a child's pose. Let your head connect to something, whether it is a block, a floor, a pillow, whatever that happens to be, letting that third eye space rest. Take a full couple of breaths. And if you want to begin with, you can add a little bit of shifting and moving through your body, adding that length. But then settle in with a couple of deep inhales through the nose and exhales through the mouth. And now inhaling, rising up to hands and knees. Set yourself up, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Rotate elbow pits forward and push so much that you have an expansion into the upper back. Tuck your toes under and lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog pose. And take a couple deep breaths. As you bend through one knee at a time, let your hips sway a little side to side. And then rise up to tiptoes, lift your sitting bones up high. Stay broad through the upper back. And then walk your way forward, coming into your forward fold at the front of your mat. Feel free to use blocks here for your hands if you would like. Good bend to your knees, especially since we haven't warmed up a ton yet. Take an inhale and lengthen part way. Hands above your knees, send your sitting bones up. Exhale and fold over your legs. Inhale and lengthen part way, sitting bones lift. Exhale and fold. And now bringing your hands up to something. It can be a couple of blocks, it can be a stool, whatever you need to do. Step right foot back into your lunge. Pause and center off with your hips. Extend your heart forward. Take a big deep breath. Inhale, step forward. Exhale, step left foot back into your lunge. Again, center with your hips. Extend your heart. Take a full, big, deep breath. Inhale, step forward. Exhale, right foot steps back. Bring your right knee down to the ground and open up with your arms. Come to gratitude here. Expanding through your chest. Take a full deep inhale, long full exhale. As you rotate just a little bit more through your upper arm bones, feel that expansion in through your collarbones. And then exhale your low ribs in, supporting your kidney area. Inhale, lift your chest up just a little higher. And exhale, come down to the blocks with your hands or whatever you're using for blocks. Lift your back knee and work your front leg towards straight. Now we're going to do a little bit of movement in and out of a hamstring stretch, right? Because hamstrings take a while to warm up. So now with your left leg as straight as it's ready to be, give your right knee a little bend and send your sitting bones up. Send your left hip crease back in space, evening out your hips. And now inhale, bend into your front knee, but keep that wrapping action of your left hip. Exhale, work your front leg towards straight, back knee bent. Inhale, bend into your front knee, and exhale, front leg straight. Inhale and exhale. One more time here. Inhaling, exhaling. Then inhale, bend into your front knee and step forward. Exhale, left foot steps back into your lunge. Pause, center off your hips, extend your heart. Take a full big breath. Then bring your back knee down to the ground and lift up into that gratitude position with your arms, expanding and opening through your chest, your collarbones. Lengthen the back of your neck. And now from this place, again, notice your low ribs. And imagine as you exhale, knitting your ribs together, drawing them in toward each other, expanding into your back body. Take a big deep breath. Exhaling, hands come down to the front of your mat. Find your blocks and lift your back knee if that's in your practice today. And then work right leg towards straight. You're sending your right hip back in space, bending into your left knee, and then send your sitting bones up. So as we start this movement, the whole idea is that we try to keep our hips relatively stationary even as we move. So inhale, bend into your front knee, but keep right hip wrapped back. Exhale, work your front leg towards straight. Inhale, front knee bends. And exhale, front leg towards straight. Full deep inhale, long full exhale. One more time here. Then inhale, bend into your front knee and step forward. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale and lengthen part way. Exhale and fold. Hands to hips. Press your hips back, lift up and open through your shoulders. Keep a little bend to your knees and rise all the way up. As you come up to stand in your mountain pose, feet are inner hip distance apart and parallel. Lift and spread your toes and then root down with your toes. Inhale, stretch up overhead. Clasp your hands, turn up with your palms, and as you press upward, think of lifting your front ribs. Even let them pop forward for a moment. Lift your chest, and then broaden through tops of your shoulders. Knit your front ribs together. Inhale, lift your chest up higher, keeping that knitted action of your ribs. Exhale, also find your low belly engaging. One more time, inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, release your hands and fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen part way. Exhale and fold. Plant your fingertips, blocks or not, your choice. Step your right foot back into your lunge. And now turn and plant your back heel so you have your foot parallel to the back of your mat. Bring your left elbow to your knee, right hand to your hip, turning yourself into your side angle pose, aiming your torso toward the right side. Push your elbow down into your thigh and lift up and out of your shoulder. Even think of hugging shoulder blades onto your back. Extend your chest forward, heart forward, and turn your belly even more open. Maybe you stretch your top arm over your ear or straight up. Take 2 more full deep breaths right here. Then deeper into your front knee and open it up. Exhaling, both hands come down to the front of your mat. And then back foot, bump it a little forward and turn your toes forward. Work your front leg towards straight. Place your right hand on your block or the floor if you have longer arms than me. And then left thumb into your hip crease, give your hip a little push back and send your sitting bones up. Now turn your belly and your heart to the left side. And if it's in your practice, if you feel like your shoulders are opening up, then maybe stretch your top arm to the sky. But notice the tendency for your left hip to pop out to the left when you do that. So see if you can find that place where you have more evenness with your hips. Length through your spine. Take one more deep breath. And exhale, both hands come down to the front of your mat. This time we're going to tuck our back toes and step all the way back, downward facing dog pose. Take a deep breath. Inhale, come forward into your plank. Feel free to use knees down here if you would like. Rotate elbow pits forward and push. On your exhale, lower all the way down to your belly. And then walk your hands back right by your rib cage. Shoulders are lifting up and back here, so your shoulder blades engage. Then root down, press tops of feet and knees down. Push hands down, engage low belly and low ribs as you exhale. Inhale, lift up as high as your body is ready for. That might be lifting up to a high cobra, low cobra, or anywhere in between. Deep breath. And then exhale, downward facing dog pose. Full deep inhale, long full exhale. And then walk your way forward, coming into your forward fold at the front of your mat. Take an inhale and lengthen part way. Exhale and fold over your legs. Blocks underneath your hands if you want. Step your left foot back into your lunge. Turn and plant your left heel and then bring your right elbow to your knee, left hand to your hip. And from here, you're opening your right knee up. Utilize that glute action. Push down with your elbow, rise up and out of that right shoulder, and then turn your belly and your heart more open to the left. Maybe stretch straight up or over your ear. Take a deep breath and settle just a little deeper into your front knee. On your exhale, both hands come down to your blocks or your block. Work your back foot a little forward and turn your toes forward. This helps you to angle your hips a little bit more forward. And then center off your hips. Left hand directly underneath your shoulder on your block. Right hand, right thumb into your hip crease. Send your hip crease back in space and push down with your right big toe mound. Lift your sitting bones and begin to turn. As you turn to the right side, if you feel pretty open through your chest, maybe stretch your top arm to the sky or keep your hand right at your hip, at your low back, wherever it needs to be. Full deep inhale, long full exhale. Next exhale, both hands come down to the front of your mat. Tuck your back toes and step back into a child's pose. And as you settle into your child's pose, tune into how this child's pose feels now. And now gently push yourself up to a seat and find a pillow or bolster, whatever you happen to be using today. And set it at the front of your mat with a little space for your head and your shoulders off the other side. And then we're going to come to rest on top of our bolster. And as you come to rest on top of your pillow or bolster, the idea is that your belly has something to press into. So now from this place, you're going to walk your knees out wide, turning them open to the side. And if your body is saying no to that, if you have too much going on with hips or knees, then you can keep them straight back, okay? So now, walking them open to the side, bending them, turning your toes out, if that's in your practice, and then you can let your head rest either on your arms, or you can grab a block and put your head right up on something. As you take some full breaths here, start to bring awareness to expanding into your belly and your low back. We're moving into a little bit more of a restorative section of practice. And in our restorative poses, we get to bring gentle awareness to where our body is holding on. So notice if there's some tension somewhere here. And if it would help for that tension to subside, you can make little gentle adjustments and shift your position. So see if you can find that place for yourself where your body can settle a little bit more. And then utilize your breath. Let your breath expand downward into your pillow or bolster, and at the same time, upward into your low back. Three more really deep, slow breaths. And then gently walk your legs back in. Use your hands to support you. To push yourself back to hands and knees. And now we'll take a little outside edge of our leg stretch. So you can move your bolster further forward. And then go ahead and sit sideways near your bolster. So you're turning yourself to the right side. It'll be your left hip that's on the ground, closest to the bolster. And now extend your left leg to the right side. Extend your right leg back behind you. And then you're turning your belly, turning your heart toward your bolster. And then you can shift where your bolster is and begin to settle. As you let yourself rest here, take a couple deep breaths. And again, just notice for yourself what is showing up for tension for you. This is a big area of tension for a lot of people. So if there's tension there, recognize it, notice it. Maybe bend one knee or both knees if you need to. Take some big breaths. And then gently use your hands to support you to rise back up. And now you'll keep your bolster where it is. And then bring your legs together and simply switch sides, turning yourself to face the left side. So then this time, right leg extends to the right, left leg extends back behind you, and then turn your torso towards your pillow or bolster and start to rest. And notice for yourself any little shifts you might need to make on this side to make it just a little bit more comfortable. Again, this is a stretch that tends to be quite sensational, meaning full of sensation. Take a moment to recognize what that is for you. Then gently push yourself up to your seat. And bring your legs back in so your footprints are on the ground. Then we're going to make our way onto our backs here. Make sure you have all your props handy and ready. And as you lower onto your back, take a moment to drop your knees in together to touch. Take hands to your belly, or you can always take one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart. And as you take a full deep breath here, allow a full expansion on the inhale. Allow yourself to release a little deeper into your mat on the exhale. And then pick for yourself a position that would feel the best for that final rest of your practice, for your Shavasana. So maybe add a blanket over your hips and belly for a little more grounding. Maybe add something underneath your knees or underneath your hips. Start to find your variation of Shavasana and take some deep breaths. Begin to take a deeper breath. Add gentle movement into fingers and into toes. Slowly bend your knees and roll over to one side. And then gently press yourself up to your seat. And place one hand on your heart. Peace fingers with the other hand connecting with the ground. And as you either close your eyes or keep your gaze at the ground, take a full deep breath. Have a very peaceful, beautiful, grounded rest of your day. Namaste.